Okay, I'm going to unbox my Apple Watch Series 7. Let's have it. Here it is. Received it a couple of days ago. There it is. So let's try and open it. Okay. What's the straps? Let's open the straps first. It's a red one, obviously. Do it in a minute. There you go. Strap. Two straps. Why got three straps? I don't need three, maybe. Oh, depending the size. Do I need this one? I don't know. Put this one back. Slide it back. Yeah. In the groove. Okay. I'll get back to it in a minute. straps. Design by Apple. Okay. Just label. Instructions, I think. Charging cable. Just a cable. It's a magnetic. How are we supposed to get this out? Can't get out the yanks out. And what about this? There we are. That's finicky. Very finicky. Okay. Look at that. Checking temperature. Here's my watch. And there it is. And there it is. Nicely packed. So, how am I supposed to unpack this little case thing? Just slide out, I guess. Nestled in this case. Oh yeah, it's coming out. There we are. Out. Ta, 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 ta. I haven't got an Apple phone to pair it. Got an Apple iMac or MacBook Pro. Wonder if I can do it on there. I doubt it. Let's Google it if I can pair it with my MacBook Pro. Let's see. Apple Watch. Apple Watch cannot be synced to Mac computers via Bluetooth. It can only be paired, set up, and synced with compatible model of iPhone. That's no good. How do I pair my Apple Watch with MacBook? That's a bit of contradiction. How to connect Apple Watch to MacBook? There's a new tool. How to unlock Mac with Apple Watch? Okay.
With Shopify's all-in-one commerce platform, you can set up your online store fast, reliable, and no.
Hello there guys, today I'm going to show you how to unlock your Mac with your Apple Watch.
I don't want to. What's happening here? Don't know. Oh, it might need charging. Because you got like a do with low battery. Let's open my MacBook. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And this one's got low battery. Low battery, low battery, low battery. Nothing's low battery. What's happening here? What's happening here? Happened there? What's happening there? Setting password wrong. Password was wrong. Okay. What's that? Just don't need that. Get the Apple Watch. Okay. Yeah. 7. This one.
You will not see the con. The charger and some amazing new features compared to the previous ones. This time around, compared to the Apple Watch Series 6, the Apple Watch Series 7 provides 33% faster charging than it did with the previous watches, and also 8 minutes of charging will actually provide 8 hours of time to use your Apple Watch. It charges incredibly fast, takes only 8 minutes to get that 8 hours. It's an amazing, fast, new charger. To set up your Apple Watch, the first things you're going to have to do is connect your bands to it. It's an incredibly easy process. You see the slot right here? All you have to do is just slide in your Apple Watch band right into it. And you'll hear it click, and that's when you know you're all set. It's initially attached. We'll do it with the other side as well.
The red light turned to green.
Yes, and then you'll see it's all connected. So disconnect it in case you want to add a new Apple Watch band or whatnot. All you have to do is, you see this little button right here. All you have to do is just hold that down and then pull off, and then we'll do it with the other side. But once that is set up, you are officially ready to go use your Apple Watch. In the next clips, I'll be showing you some other initial setup processes and whatnot. So first, we're going to dive into the initial setup and pairing process. I have my Apple Watch app pulled up on my iPhone. And if we have an Apple Watch, like it says, you can pair it up with your iPhone right here. So let's start pairing. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to set up for myself. It's up to you if you want to set up for a family member, maybe for Christmas or with a birthday or any type of present. But let's set up for myself right now. Then what we're going to do is position the Apple Watch into the frame right here. And it's going to read that, and now our Apple Watch is paired. It was a very easy process. And then what you're going to want to do after that is essentially just restore from backup right here. And I have Andy's Apple Watch right here. I'm just going to click that and click continue. It's going to take a second to load, but it's going to start pairing your content from your iPhone right into your Apple Watch. And it's going to take a moment, so I'll come back to you guys right when it is officially set up. What's up, everybody? My Apple Watch was just pairing in the previous clip, and now it is done loading. So now we're just going to go to the next steps in the process of getting your Apple Watch set up. This terms and conditions is going to pop up right here if you want to read that. Once you read that, just make sure to click agree. And then we're going to go to shared settings. Basically, your iPhone will share settings such as Find My iPhone, Siri, Analytics, and Improvement. Some watch faces will show up. Whatever settings you want shared to from your iPhone to your Apple Watch, this is what you want to click. You just want to click OK. It just takes a second to load. And then you have this option of bold text and size. I prefer where it is right now, but if you want it any bigger, you just have to swipe right here. You can obviously set this up later in your Apple Watch app as well. You can create a passcode. I'm not going to add a passcode right now, but it's only a 4-digit code. It's whatever you prefer for numbers. Don't use passcode. I'll set that up later. Keep your Apple Watch up to date. That's the next part in the setup process. You'll get the latest feature, security, and improvement by updating your watch OS automatically. So when it's similar to an iPhone, when you get a new update, such as a new iOS, it'll automatically set that up and install that while you're sleeping or whenever is a good time for you. We'll click continue. Emergency SOS is the next part. You can press and hold the side button to call emergency services if your Apple Watch is connected to your iPhone. So basically, you just hold down the button on the side, and then you'll contact emergency SOS. This is similar to an iPhone when you can't get into your iPhone and there's the option to dial 911 or contact anyone if you need help with something. I highly recommend using your Apple Watch when this occurs. If something bad, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if something does happen that's harmful to your health or safety, all you have to do is just hold down on the Apple Watch on the wrists on the side, the button right here, and you'll contact some sort of help. Always on display. This is the next part in the Apple Watch setup process. You get to see what's on the face of your Apple Watch right when you turn it on. So let's click continue and see what goes from there. We have the option of the grid view and the list view. I think I already talked about this, but you have two options right here. I prefer the list view. It makes it come off more organized to me, easier to find these apps. And now get to know your watch. Let's click right here. And then, yeah, so you have this tips app. It's on your Apple Watch and your iPhone. You can just read about new things about the Apple Watch Series 7 or any Apple Watch in general, just to get a feel for it. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do in this video, but if you need further help, it's always good to go to your tips section. And I think we are done with that, the setup. Now I'm going to get into some tips and tricks. What's up, everybody? The Apple Watch is officially done pairing. As you can see, I'm charging it right here. It is MagSafe charger. The iPhone's giving us a brief introduction right here, where it's telling us what we can adjust, the different faces we can get, or the Apple Watch apps we can download. So let's click OK and see what happens right here. And it's going to take us to our setting page. So over here is all the apps that I have, plus the apps that Apple provides on the Apple Watch. It gives your faces. I'll go into more detail about the different faces you can choose and how to edit those. I'll also go into a lot of detail about the different apps and different perks of having an Apple Watch. So thank you guys for watching the initial setup. Let's dive into some tips and tricks and other features about the Apple Watch Series 7.
If you're still using old-fashioned, slow charging and messy lightning charging cables, it is time for you to say goodbye to those. Your phone has incredible MagSafe technology built right into it, which allows you to wirelessly and magnetically charge your devices. If you're going to invest so much money into an iPhone, then you should be giving yourself a premium experience, which all starts with something that you need to do every day, and that is charging your actual device. Get the absolute most out of your iPhone with Elgear's 2-in-1 lightning charging stand. This stand allows you to magnetically and wirelessly charge both your iPhone and your AirPods simultaneously. Place your phone anywhere on the sleek charging stand, and you're going to feel that magnet automatically attach right to your phone. L-Gear wanted to make sure that you can use your phone for all of its uses without having to take it off the stand, which is why they included dual coil technology, so you can use your phone both vertically and horizontally in landscape mode. This means that you can still send your messages, emails, or anything else, or you can flip your phone sideways and watch your favorite videos and movies while your phone is still being charged in the background. This stand is made with the highest quality materials like metal and tempered glass, and they also put non-slip silicone on the bottom of the stand. L-Gear used official MagSafe technology, so you never need to worry about your phone falling off the stand or having to fidget around with your phone to get it in the right position. As I already mentioned, this is a 2-in-1 lightning charging stand, so you can charge 2 devices at the same time by using the second wireless charger on the back of this stand. This is perfect for charging a pair of headphones or even a second iPhone. Wait no longer and finally go upgrade your charging experience by going to lgear.com. Stop using those old-fashioned, slow-charging and messy lightning cables and upgrade to the 2-in-1 lightning charging stand that's perfect for your desk or your nightstand, and it's also being sold at an incredibly discounted rate. So go to lgear.com. The link's on the screen and down in the description. Enjoy.
When you have your Apple Watch initially set up, one of the first things you're going to want to do is choose one of these faces options. The Apple Watch Series 7 has a bunch of new faces to choose from, and I think they're all incredibly cool. So for example, say we want to do Meridian. You're going to have the option to choose different colors from any of these. You can choose if you want it white or black. You can choose today's day. You can choose all these different applications to have on your Apple Watch face screen. And then also, if you want to choose a different one, you can gladly do that. I prefer this one. This one helps show off the large screen that it comes with nowadays. As when you look around, it's completely on the side of it. It's a great new feature, and you guys have a bunch of new options to choose from. And then say I choose this.
Let's see how this is getting on.
You'll see that my Apple Watch has this now also on its face. As you can see on my Apple Watch face, it'll obviously give me the time, which you'd expect, but also if you look closely, it's going to give me information about the weather, what day it is, the UV index, and what more. So let's click on the weather right here. It's going to give me the information about what the temperature is out today, what the air quality, the UV index, the wind speed, all the metrics you need to know about your weather. It's going to give you the projected weather for the week and further. You can exit out of that. When you go back to, you can click the date. It's going to say if you have any events scheduled, you can set those up on your calendar to mark important dates. I have no events that are important to me right now, but if you want to set those, they'd appear once you click on that icon right here under the date. We'll click on the UV index, like I already said. We went to this already. It'll just give you more information about the weather. And then if we exit out of that, this right here. This is my activity. So
iPhone,
I already talked about this, but basically,
I ain't got an
this will show how much you
iPhone.
moved today, and by the
What
time,
are
the
you
more
supposed to
you
do
move,
if
the
you
more
haven't got an
of
iPhone?
these colored arrows will move around this ring. So that's just a good indicator of how much you're moving, how much activity you're having that day. So that's a little bit about the face screen. These are different options you can click on directly from the face instead of having to go into your apps like this. And that's just a cool
No
little tip for
iPhone,
you
mate.
guys
No
about the face
iPhone.
of your watch. When setting up your Apple Watch, you can also set it up on your iPhone as well. We have this Apple Watch app right here, which gives you everything you need to do to make changes to your watch. Once you make the changes on your iPhone, it will directly sync into your Apple Watch. For the initial setup, the most important setting you want to go to is General. So what I like to do is go to WatchOrg.
I'm going to show you how you can save loads of money online using the Couch browser extension.
Too many ads.
I'm on eBay and I've got my eye on these PS5 headphones.
Orientation first. So say you like it on your left or right wrist, you have the option to choose which one you want to put it on. And then you can also have the digital crown on the left or right side. Right now, I prefer the left wrist and the digital crown on the right side, but that's your preference. There's also a ton of other settings you can do on your Apple Watch that we will go over in the next clip. After you have that wrist orientation set up, you can now make other changes to your Apple Watch through your iPhone. I think one of the important settings to go to is accessibility. This gives you tons of different options of how you want your Apple Watch set up. So let's, for example, go to bold text. This basically means that whatever messages you get or any text you see on your Apple Watch, that'll mean they'll be shown bolded. I prefer mine off. You can also have this assistive touch setting, which is brand new. It's very cool. What happens is when you do different hand motions, such as pinching your finger or holding your wrist like that, it'll initiate different changes. So let's continue this on the Apple Watch right here. And you just double click to set up right here, to the passcode, and then double click to confirm. And that is now set up. Basically what was happening, if I have my Apple Watch on, say I do a different hand motion, such as I clench my fist, what will happen is it'll initiate a specific change that you want. So say I clench my fist, that means my messages can show up, or I hold my fist down, Siri can show up, or I pinch my fingers. Basically this means anything you want to happen or change through your Apple Watch, you can now do that with your assistive touch. I'll go into more detail on this in the next clip, but this is a great new feature for the Apple Watch, and I'll show you guys how to do it. We'll go into more detail about assistive touch. Basically, I want to show you guys the different gestures you can use to initiate these changes with assistive touch. So say we go to hand gestures and we see this pinch option. We'll click on that right there, and you'll see
Okay, how to use Apple Watch without iPhone. Finally, Apple Watch without an iPhone. Kind of. Like kind of. Really? What? 10 things you can do with an Apple Watch. How to use Apple Watch with Android. Okay, that's great. I hope this is helpful. How to set up Apple Watch 7 without beginners, without iPhone. Okay, let's look at this one.
So I've tried a lot of different smartwatches over the years, and while some are better than others, I still haven't found any that I think come close to the Apple Watch. Of course, that's just my opinion, and I know a lot of people will think differently. But something I think maybe all of us can agree on is that one of the things that sucks about the Apple Watch is the fact that it doesn't work on Android phones. Apple doesn't offer an official Apple Watch app on the Google Play Store, and there's no way you can just hop into Bluetooth settings and pair the two. But in this video, I am going to show you how I've been using the Apple Watch, not necessarily on, but with my Android phone, in a way where I'm getting all of my calls, text messages, emails, Twitter notifications, and more right on my Apple Watch without killing the watch's battery, and while I'm out and about with nothing more than an Android phone in my pocket. Now, fair warning to anybody who may be looking to replicate this. This method is expensive, okay? And the more functionality you want out of the watch, the more expensive it's going to get. Also, the ability to receive calls and text messages will require an Apple Watch with cellular, and some of the features may not even be available to you depending on your wireless carrier. I'm on T-Mobile here in the United States, and that's what I'm going to be basing all of this on. So that out of the way, let's get into how I did it. This episode is sponsored by Skillshare, where you can finally learn how to create that app that you've been thinking about for either iOS or Android. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or already an expert, Skillshare can help you take your skill sets to the next level. They have courses covering everything from the basics of coding to app and icon design and even augmented reality. The first 500 people who sign up using our special link down below will get 2 months of Skillshare for free, so be sure to check it out before they're all gone. Alright, so the first step in this entire process is one that you're not going to like, but it's an unavoidable step because without it, the Apple Watch won't even be able to tell the time. And that is that you'll have to get yourself an iPhone. Hey, I did warn you, this was going to be expensive. Now, the iPhone you get isn't going to be your main phone, so you don't have to get a brand new one. You can just pick up a used one on eBay, with the only real requirements being that the iPhone works and can be logged into iCloud, and that it's compatible with the Apple Watch that you're trying to use. Otherwise, for the most part, you're just going to leave it at home, plugged in, and always connected to Wi-Fi. So So once you have your iPhone, once you've paired it to the Apple Watch, the next step is to turn that iPhone into a little notification server that will power all the Apple Watch's notifications. To do this, all you have to do is install any of the apps that you use on your Android phone and want to receive notifications for onto the iPhone. This way, anytime you receive a notification from one of these apps on your Android phone, you'll also get that notification on your iPhone, which will then sync that notification to your Apple Watch as long as the iPhone and the Apple Watch have an internet connection, which works great when you're at home and connected to Wi-Fi. But as soon as you walk out the front door and you leave the iPhone behind, well, the Apple Watch just goes back to telling the time since it loses that internet connection. So from here, there are two ways you can go about it. You can just get an Apple Watch with a cellular connection and sync it with your iPhone through iCloud. And I did it this way initially, and it works great. You get all of your app notifications, but it absolutely kills the Apple Watch's battery. So the second option, and the one that's really much more sustainable, is to connect your Apple Watch to your Android phone for that data instead. That way, your Android phone can do the hard work of providing an internet connection, leveraging its much bigger battery. And yes, you heard me correctly. I said connect the Apple Watch to your Android phone because, while you can't pair the Apple Watch using Bluetooth, you can technically connect them using Wi-Fi. To do this, all you have to do is create a Wi-Fi hotspot on your Android phone and then temporarily connect your iPhone to that Android hotspot. That way, the iPhone will automatically save the network info and sync it with the Apple Watch. So when you're out of the house, far away from the iPhone, and you turn your Android phone's hotspot on, your Apple Watch will automatically connect to it, giving it the internet connection it needs to sync your app notifications with your iPhone back at home without absolutely killing its battery life. Apple's own numbers say that the Apple Watch can last up to 18 hours on a Wi-Fi connection, and in my experience, I'm able to get through most days with like 40% still remaining. Of course, while the Apple Watch's battery doesn't suffer using an Android hotspot, the Android phone's battery does. Like, I don't care how big the battery is in your Android phone, you can't just leave the hotspot on all day. And remembering to turn the hotspot off when you get home and back on again when you leave the house just isn't practical. But luckily, we're talking about an Android phone. Using an app like Tasker, you can set your phone to automatically turn the hotspot on and off when you leave the house and when you get back. In fact, you can do this for as many locations as you want. It doesn't have to be just your house. So in order to maximize battery life, what I did was I took my iPhone with me to the office one day. I took it to my parents' house, to some of my friends' houses, basically anywhere that I spend a lot of time, and I connected the iPhone to their Wi-Fi networks. That way, anytime I'm at one of these locations, my Apple Watch has their Wi-Fi network saved, and it can connect to them instead of having to rely upon my Android hotspot. I just made sure to set up a Tasker profile to toggle the hotspot off at each of these locations, and as a result, the total hit on my Android phone's battery is pretty limited. I'm able to get through a full day without much of a problem since the hotspot stays off most of the time. On the days where I'm traveling a lot, there's obviously a bigger hit, but I've never had my battery die on me, because if I do notice my Android phone's battery getting really low, I just toggle the hotspot off and let the watch use its own LTE connection. But the point here is my Apple Watch always stays connected and therefore always syncs my notifications through iCloud with the iPhone that I have back at home. Now, for most people, I'd say this is the point where you might want to stop, because you're getting your app notifications in addition to the Apple Watch's great health features, and so far, the only real cost is a used iPhone and maybe a hotspot plan if your plan doesn't already include it. But if you want to keep on going, the next step in this process is to enable the ability to receive calls and text messages, even though you have your SIM card in your Android phone. Now, like I said earlier, this step is going to come down to your carrier and whether or not they support it. I'm using T-Mobile here in the United States, so that's what I'm basing this entire example on. So T-Mobile has a service called Digits, which I believe is called Number Share on Verizon and Number Sync on AT&T. I'm not sure about the other carriers in other countries, but in a nutshell, what this service does is it allows you to have the same phone number on multiple devices. So what I did is I added a Digits line to my cellular Apple Watch. I put my main SIM card in the iPhone because if I did it any other way, the Apple Watch got stripped of its connection for some reason. And I added another Digits line for my Android phone, meaning all three devices have their own independent cellular connection, and all three three are tied to the same exact phone number. So when someone calls me on that number, all three devices ring. And if I make a call from any of these devices, all three will use that same phone number. It actually works really, really well for calls, but unfortunately, it doesn't really work when it comes to text messaging, even though you'd expect it to, because of iMessage. So if you leave iMessage enabled on the iPhone, you'll get your text messages on the Apple Watch, no problem. But if you have any friends that use iPhones, you'll stop getting their messages on your Android phone. And if you turn iMessage off, you'll get your text messages on your Android phone and on the iPhone back at home, but you'll stop getting them on the Apple Watch because iMessage is how the iPhone syncs messages across devices. So what can you do? Well, at least with T-Mobile in the United States, there is a solution
this is
because
going
in
on and
addition
on.
to the digits lines that you can add, T-Mobile also has a digits app that lets you send and receive text messages from any internet connected device. So what I did was I turned iMessage off and I installed the digits app onto the iPhone, and boom. Anytime I get a text message, well, I don't get it through the actual Messages app on my watch. I do get it as a Digits app notification since it's being mirrored from my iPhone back at home. But there you go. That is how I use the Apple Watch with my Android phone. It isn't a perfect solution. It's expensive and not everything works. For example, you still can't control the music playing on your Android phone like you would be able to if you were using an iPhone. But at the same time, it's the best solution that I've been able to find. Like being able to get your calls, your emails, your text messages, your app notifications, while still getting the Apple Watch's great health features and without having to give up your Android phone. It's pretty cool, right? Like it feels like you're getting 1 foot out of that walled garden. Is it worth it? Probably not for most people, especially if you're trying to get calls, as the extra monthly cost for those additional lines really starts to add up. But then again, Apple loves to share stories about how the Apple Watch is saving lives, so maybe it could be worth it. But at least for me, I just want to be able to use what I think is the best smartwatch in the world with what I think is the best phone in the world, at least in that moment. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.
I don't think that was very helpful. How to hack your Apple Watch to use it with anyway, that was my Apple Watch unboxing. Sorry about that, didn't really help a lot, but there you go. You learn you cannot have an Apple Watch without an iPhone, unfortunately. Bye bye.